Good evening, everyone. Good evening, world. Good evening, wherever you are watching me from. I am Mazi Ezoke. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. We are going to be looking at something that many of us would obviously want to be part of. And this evening, as it will interest many of us, I will be looking at the case of Nnamdi Kanu and the case of Sunday Igboho. Um, as many of you are aware, they had their day in court today, so we will. I will be joined. I will be joined later by our sister, Chief Mrs. Annkio Briggs, and I will be joined as well by Ejiofor, that is the lead counsel to the indigenous people of Biafra. So, as it is customary to this evening, please may I ask that you subscribe to this channel and share this stream if you haven't shared so. So, yes, we are back for the second time. Exactly. We are back for the second time. So, let's basically get cracked on. So, once more, good evening and welcome back. Many of you are aware of what had happened before. It is no longer news that Nnamdi Kanu had gone to court. And it is also no longer news that Igboho was also in court. Putting the two information side by side, the question now is, where do we go from here and what next? Now, and this evening, the analysis will be done by those who actually have one or two things. Okay, Ike Chukwuezenwa says I'm already subscribed already. Thank you very much. We will continue irrespective of what is happening. Now, I also do have someone who would eventually come up to this platform. She says she has something to tell the world. She's, in her words, I wouldn't want to preempt what she's going to say. She says she has a revelation, and it was given 10 days for the country to do the right thing, or sorry, 7 days, which will be expiring in 3 days. So, some of you will be wondering, Mazes, okay, what then happened? Why do you, if you don't believe in certain things? But again, because I do not believe in certain things, doesn't mean there are not people who do. Therefore, what I would do is basically to get to say, okay, people, this is what I was told. Before before I do something and get I'm trying to be speak in certain ways, but I'll allow you be the judge. Just bear with me quickly I would be inviting, let me do it this way. I will be inviting that guest actually to join this conversation. You know, once she comes in, I will let her do Maureen Chukura. Oh, Maureen, bless you. Bless you. Thank you for the super chart. You know, you are starting the super chart on a good footing. Maureen, I am aware you are in the United Kingdom. If you may um, send me your address as well. I think you've also qualified to get the dotted t-shirts. This one is different. This is not the V-neck. This is a round neck, and it's got red whatever in it. So we are proudly dotted people, unapologetically so. Unapologetically dotted. Someone called me a dotted person, a dot in the circle. We must learn not to get angry at every, you know, at every slightest provocation. The only thing we have done is to say, okay, you called me so, I will have to own it. And in owning it, we'll bring in that which we are very good in doing. We are going to use it to push you to a point to let the world know that you basically have created something for us. And that which you have created for us is nothing but a means and a way to say, people, let's be proud of this. And in being proud of that, we are obviously using it for all manner of things. I mean, it's not our fault. We didn't call ourselves. You did. And because you did, and now someone told me on Facebook that I'll be arrested. I said, God, I want to be arrested for putting on a Onyedot t-shirts. Oh, dear. That cracked me up, honestly. Say, as if the DSS, or whichever one, they do not have anything anymore on earth to do than to keep going round and looking for who does not, or who wears or who does not wear a a t-shirt. So what's going to happen now, please? I would, at this point in time, maybe do it this way. Let me quickly see if I can bring in the guests here, people who can join me to do justice to the topic that we have today. So I'll quickly try to reach out. And for Barrister Ejiofor, probably he might not because he's left the office. So I might have to just get him over the phone. If I'm able to get him, I'll bring him on. But I hope that my good sister, Annkio Briggs, that she is going to, join me via the studio. Okay, people. The game is on. Yeah. So let's see quickly. While I'm trying to get them in, people, let me see if I can, take some of your comments. Let me take some of your comments. Okay. You need one. I'm proudly Dottish. Okay. We are proudly Dottish. The material for this dotted t-shirt is the best I've ever seen. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do a bedspread. Bedspread. I'm going to do a red cap. It's going to be Onyedot, red cap. The next time I'm going to be in Abuja, and I'm going to the in the Atarok, I'll make sure that I wear my red cap that says Onye Dot. So if somebody wants to faint in the Asarok, let that person faint in the Asarok. Okay, so if anybody wants to faint in the Asarok, let that person faint in the Asarok. But me, proudly, dotted, in and out, anywhere, anyhow, you turn it around. Proudly dotted. Okay, so I'm waiting for the guest to quickly come in. Then we, I take some questions from them, and you can also ask them questions as well. Whichever one, if it is the woman with, if it's the woman with the prophecy for Nigeria, if she's the one to join me first, then so be it. So let me quickly see if she can join me now. Oh, there, sorry. Oh, there. I missed something. She actually requested that I send her the details via email. Madam, if you're watching me, please pardon me. That's my mistake. As they say in Igbo, akponkito okunu nabo, omonu nani. Akponkita okunu nabo, omonu nani. It's not been easy doing multiple things at a time. Okay, hold on. No. Sorry, people. Hold on. Pardon me. I need to do this differently. But it's all good. So many of you are asking how much is the t-shirt. I think, did we agree on 20? I think it's 20. So especially for those of you, for those of us that made requests from Nigeria, the second batch is being produced, but the first batch has gone out, and the first batch is now in the UK, and so we can dispatch from the United Kingdom. Now the mesh shop is also coming up. So for those of you who may want that from the shop as well, before the week runs out, the mesh shop should be up and running. Okay. Okay. So that is it. So we would now see that information is being given out. So let's see, who do we have? Flinson says, please dot me. Of course. There are so many people, pounds. There are so many people to be dotted. There are so many people, but don't be Dubai. I don't know. See, the Dubai. I think the challenge we might have is the we'll get one for United States. I think we'll get one. Obin Nifanacho will be getting his. I think tomorrow we've concluded our arrangement for that to leave from England to US tomorrow. So maybe if those of you who want to get it from the US tomorrow, if you maybe so wish, you can email me, please, because if not, those will be going out tomorrow. Then those in Belgium and Germany, you all can all agree, especially those in Germany can agree. We can, email them at once, or Mazen jeder muss dann eigene Versandkosten tragen halt. Ne? Und das geht ja gar nicht, oder? Und das geht gar nicht. And that's geht gar nicht. So there is something there is something that happened today that gladdened my heart. And that is that Ohaneze Songworth sent their representative. Hold on, let me see if I can get one of the guests so we can. Anyone who is serious, you can send an email. That email is njenjemedia@gmail.com. njenjemedia@gmail.com. If you look at the scrolling banner now, you can see that the email is there, right? The email is there. So if payment is made through PayPal, and the PayPal to make payment as well is njenjemedia@gmail.com, right? So that will be with your address in the comment section. You know, when you have, but please, for now, only those in Europe. So only those in Europe. If you're not in Germany, like UK, Ireland, or so, if you before you make any order, please, you need to confirm so that we find out how much the postage to your country is, because that's where the main issue is. It's not about giving so that's where the issue basically is. So while we are still waiting, let me see if I can get the barrister to join us now. Let me see if I can get the barrister to join us. Okay. Good evening.
Good evening, Master. How are you?
I'm all right. So you're now live on Njenje Media TV, and for the viewers, for the world, we have here Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who is the lead counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Barrister, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Mazi.
Okay, let's get the ball rolling. Barrister, can you tell us what actually happened in the court today? We are aware that your client did not appear in the court today. Why?
Okay. Let me start from what transpired in court on 29th of this month, or last month. You are aware that upon his abduction in Kenya and consequent extraordinary rendition to Nigeria, he was brought to court on the 29th day of June 2021. And that was done without reference to me and also to my fellow colleagues for him, defending him in court. It was a state charge. So, and the matter was consequently adjourned to today for commencement of, for conclusion of hearing. Because we had before now expected that that in line with the manner they are boasting about amendment of charge, introducing new charges like terrorism, kidnapping, banditry, and the murder, and they must have amended the charge before today. So, and we also came to realize today that all those things are mere speculations over the media. Because no charge was amended, and that also reaffirmed our belief. So I believe that our client is on a political trial. So today in court, he was not brought to court, and we are in court prepared for the trial to go. Though before now we have an application before the court by requesting that it should be transferred to correctional center to grant easy access to lawyers, relatives who actually want to see him, and also to enable us prepare for the defense along with him. So but that application was filed on the 14th of this month, 14th of July, and served on the prosecution, being the federal government on the same day. And they filed a response 2 days after, not 48 hours after being served with the rest for our application. They filed a counter affidavit and deliberately withheld it from being served upon the defense team. And only this morning we ambushed with the counter affidavit. So ordinarily, these are issues that have been taking time to address in court today. But because of the fact that, first of all, the court made a observation that she was actually in court today because he has already given this date. And at the point he was given this date, you never expected that it wasn't within the contemplation that to forward a vacation. So, and as such, she can't delve into the substantive matter or take an application because that has to be done through fiat. So there's a fiat by the CJ in line with the procedure of the Federal Court because today has been declared as commencement date for vacation. But nevertheless, we were able to take to express our concerns and also register our grievances to the court about what transpired and lost a young date. Then they brought into court without reference to us and particularly me because the prosecution, they have all my details. So, and they never served us any, notified us about bringing him to court. So, and we are worried that he wasn't brought to court today. And it's also when rumors were flying around yesterday that he has been transferred to an unknown destination from Abuja. So I insisted on a law to also inquire from the prosecution where as a result about and well-being because we saw him last week. So at the end of the submissions, the court decided to see the lawyers in chambers at the end of the proceeding. Now saying we'll discuss about the other things affecting his welfare and also affecting seeing him. Our constraint is seeing him and visit to him and also and his current state. But that should be done outside the court, should be done in the chambers.
No.
So, and that the result because the courts made another chambers directing not all restricted access to him by lawyers and also people who are known to him and give dates and visiting dates for us to see them. So it's no longer at the pleasure of the federal or of the DSS. So usually you have to apply and they'll give you time to see him. So this time around, the court has given an order as to when time to see him within the week. Thank you.
So I do understand that the court gave an order for him to be seen Mondays and Thursdays. Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay. Now, now that we are talking online, we're being watched by thousands of people globally. Now, there is a popping question on my screen, which is a reaffirmation from you that your client is well and alive.
Yeah, I can confirm to the world now because I made some discrete findings. I made a confirmation from relevant authority. I don't want to be put there to mention names here of the but he's in Abuja and he's fine. So and then I will see him next 48 hours. He's okay.
So
I've already made it known to the public and the world by pages that they should disregard the rumors that he has been sent out of Abuja. So we confirm that he's okay. So I'll see him within 48 hours.
Okay, so I mean, within the next 48 hours, the worst case scenario will be that by Thursday you will see him, assuming Nigeria becomes what it is, but at least by legal pronunciations, Thursday is a date that the court gave that unrestricted access to him, right? So,
sure.
Okay. Now, is there anything, what will happen between now and the 21st of October? Why is it that the court was unable to get a date that is slightly closer? Why, like almost 2 months ahead of time?
First of all, our vacation starts today. Federal Court vacation starts today.
And how long is normally the vacation?
And it will probably be within the month of September 18 or about. So if you are privy to what happened in court, inside the court, I insisted that the court should give us a date in September. And the court was of the view that if I give you a date in September, what about if I didn't sit? Yeah, right? Because obviously maybe you have other engagement, other what they call schedule after vacation. Usually after vacation, if I court will go on conference and whatnot. So I don't know. So the court said they want to give me a clear the court city. However, the court also suggest assured us that it's not adverse to taking this matter during this vacation. If you can get a fiat from CJ directing her to proceed in that regard. So and we have started taking that step. So once fiat is granted the law to proceed with hearing during this vacation, then we can proceed. So we have done the letter today, and by tomorrow we'll submit it. We'll conclude very late. We're submitting tomorrow, requesting for CJ fiat to enable my law to control the trial. So once that is done, the date will be abridged so the court can clear this matter during this vacation. Otherwise, the matter will come up on 21st of October because that's the last day the court will be available to hear the substantive suit.
So, what is the probability that the CJ would actually grant such a request for that to be brought forward?
The point that it is because it's now subject to the court's discretion, confidence, and the courts affected had actually expressed her willingness, her availability to take this matter during vacation. So I don't think there will be any impediment on the part of my Lord Honorable CJ to either not to refuse their application. Because the court who is of the matter has expressed willingness to take this matter during vacation. So if the court was not willing to take this application, this matter during the vacation, then it will be an important factor to consider by the CJ at the point of approving or otherwise of application. But in this case, we have the mandate of the court to do the application, and in our application it was content to, it was mentioned in our application that my Lord Honorable Justice Nyako is disposed to hear this application, this matter during the vacation. So that shouldn't be that makes the approval very easy in circumstance.
Okay. Are you of the opinion that, like in the case as it were in 2006, does it seem to you that the state prosecutor is not in any way, shape, or form ready for this case?
The point that they have not been ready for this case, and it is more so when this case, as you are fully aware today, has developed so many wings. What was before the court in 2017, we saw the same thing before the court today.
Mm-hmm.
In 2017, 2015, we have a client who was abducted in Lagos on October 14th, 2015, brought to Abuja on that same day, and ran a magistrate court season 2 on 16th, and was granted bail the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Then the SSC refused to comply with the order granting him bail. He took him to Federal High Court. On the 19th day of December, the Federal High Court granted him bail unconditionally. Those orders were all flouted by the detention authority. So then, instead, they filed on the 23rd day of December 2015. They filed 11-count charge against him before the Federal High Court. Then, after looking at the proof of evidence attached to the charge, supporting the charge, indictment, and we of the view that this proof of evidence cannot sustain the bogus allegations against him as contained in the charge, we filed an application challenging the entire charge, urging the court to dismiss them. So, and the court, in his wisdom, struck out 8-count charge of 11-count charge. So, and made a remark in the ruling that even the 3-count charge remaining, that proof of evidence still remaining cannot sustain the charge. But since prosecutors say they have a witness to bring from Lagos or whatever they call it, that you want to hear them, and consequently admitted him on bail. He was granted bail on the 25th day of April 2017, after being detained for over 2 years in custody. Then adjourned the matter for trial adjourned the matter to 17th of October 2017 for trial. In between the period he was awaiting for the trial, the Nigerian government, the same government prosecuting him in the same court, then sent their soldiers to Afaruku Ibeku on the 14th of September 2017. And during this bloody invasion, the war that was taken to his house, over 28 persons were murdered in his home. Animals slaughtered, everywhere damaged, all in a bid to assassinate him. Now, this is a person who is under the protection of the court. This is a person who was granted bail by the court. This is a person who had announced to the world that he will be coming to the court on October 17, 2017, with about, in the company of about 2 million fans. And then the person who had undergone what they call pre-trial conference, pre-trial briefing, preparing for the trial coming up on 17th October. Now, because they know that they have no case against him, they can't establish that charge against him. What they did was to, are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. That was why they took the one to his house to assassinate him. Now, that changed the narrative entirely. What we did was to come to court and requested the court to investigate the intervening event that led to his appearance. And also urged the court to look at what happened to his house to him. This is a person who was granted by the court, who ordinarily supposed to be under the protection of the court. Why was his home invaded in the manner they did? In the bid to kill him. So this is a case, we have about 3 different applications before the court, including the one where we fight to set aside the revocation of his bail, all are pending before the court. Now, today, we have a British citizen who was abducted in Kenya on 19th of June 2021, and who, in gross violation of international protocols and United Nations conventions, fully signed, an agreement fully signed by Nigeria in 2021, was brought in here through a southern edition. So this has raised such concern before the international community. So I have maintained series of actions against the Kenyan, against Nigeria, against also the British government before the international community today. So because this is certainly, we're not talking about political trial going on here, because all of us know that Nnamdi Kanu is a political prisoner. And today, we're not talking about trial because he has committed offenses to law. So otherwise, I should have been served with a charge today. I should have been served with a charge as for the intelligence, or they bring it to court and serve us with a charge of what they call, of the amended charge or allegation against him. So these are issues now. These are the legs the case has developed today.
So for everyone that is watching us globally to understand what you just said, what you're saying is that on the 29th of June, when he was brought to the court, you were not, as the lead legal counsel, you were not given any charge as to what he's been charged of. And today, again, appearing...
I was not informed.
Yes. Okay.
He was brought in here. He was smuggled in here on the 27th day of June, 2021. Right? Now, ordinarily, the prosecutor is not under any form of illusion as to the identity of the person who is the substantive counsel in the suit, in the case. You should have informed me that I'm taking him to court on Tuesday, being 29th. So I was not informed. You know what I'm saying? And it's fundamental. And in the process, he wasn't allowed to address the court. And which is strange under the practice. It's very strange. Allowing a client to address the court in the absence of his lawyer.
And there was nobody to ascertain at the point he was made to address the courts his mental faculty at that point, if it was induced or anything.
Nobody ascertained that. Nobody was to ascertain what his
state of mind
was made to address the court. It was asked to address the court.
Okay. So now there is this school of thought that's been going around that since the case appears more political than legal, that the solution would eventually become political as well, or rather the resolution. What's your take on such?
But I've said it in several of my media interviews that detaining Nnamdi Kanu where he is, keeping him in solitary confinement can never solve the problem. It can never solve the problem. Because I've asked this government a question. Since the agitation for this for Biafra independence, have you been able to engage these people? What are your grievances? What are you talking about? What are you complaining about? The answer is no. For one day. But we are fully aware that at the early stage of this administration, we have a department, we have a kind of a ministry, can I call it, they call it special advisor, presidential advisor to they call it presidential committee on dialogue with Boko Haram. We have it in this government. We have it. So a committee was set up to dialogue with Boko Haram. No terrorist. So why haven't they set up a committee to dialogue with people who are very agitating? I get what I'm saying.
Well,
the committee has not been set up. They don't even fit to set up a committee to agitate with people who are very agitating for their rights. These are people who don't understand the law. Rather, we're sending soldiers, sending police, sending all sort of ammunition down to East to be killing people. As I speak to you today, at this moment, we have not less than 3,000 innocent civilians arrested from all corners of the southeast today, being detained in Abuja and other places across the states. Today, because they are merely agitating. Today, they're still in custody.
Okay, so I would shortly let you go, but before I do that, there were people we saw today in front of that court. They were in solidarity to the cause, obviously to the upcoming case. Now, at some point, we saw that they were arrested. Are you aware if they are still in detention, or have they been released, or is there anything you're doing to get them out?
I've already sent a message across to the security agents to release all persons arrested today. I learned some have released and I still detain some. So I've sent a message across to them and we're going to follow it up. And I'm following up already.
Because I am aware.
The fact is clear. The fact is clear. Let me tell you the fact of the issue. The fact of the matter is clear. People have the constitutional right to be in court and observe proceedings of the court. Mm-hmm. And these guys have never in any manner conducted themselves in a manner that suggests they're violent. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have no right powers to restrict people from coming to court. What you should be insisting on is orderliness and civility in their conduct. And that's all. You can't ask people not to come to court. Access to court cannot be inhibited in any manner. It's a right to be in court, even when the matters don't affect them in the first place. So when these guys who are here to observe proceedings of court, to ensure that their leader is given fair trial and fair hearing. And they were not there with any false arm. So that's what I'm complaining about. Arresting innocent civilians. We have criminals there who are daily killing people in the bush. We have Hespen there, we have Boko Haram there, we have notorious criminals over there. We have Boko Haram there. They've not been arrested. Now they are negotiating with the bandits and what they call it, or whatever they call it. So these are civilians who are in court to observe proceedings of the court. And they're not violent. They were peaceful in their conduct. So these are things we complain about. So in the system, in Nigerian democratic system, we have two sets of laws applicable to these different people. One applicable to the north, the one applicable to the south is a different one altogether. So it's very pathetic indeed. So I'm using this opportunity also to call on the security agents, whether SSS, police, soldiers, to without further ado release all persons arrested today in connection with this case who were there in court to share up their leader who was being brought to custody.
Okay. So from what we do not have their details aside persons well known like Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, whom we have already spoken about 3-4 hours ago, and Sore, who were already, both of them already released. Now, the ladies, there was this lady on the pink that we saw singing eventually, DPO or whatever, I think it's Hassan, instructed his men to come with truck, and they were taken away, all of them taken away. So I think, so what you're assuring the world watching now is that, by tomorrow or thereabout, you will ensure that all those individuals are let off the hook.
If they're not released within by today or tomorrow, I'll make it public.
Okay.
Also make their names public too, that have not been released. So I've already applied to the security agents to release those arrested today.
Okay.
It's unheard of. Arresting people around the court premises.
I will be following up. I will give you 48 hours to get more information on that, and I will be following up on that to ensure that they regain their freedom. Now, my next question to you is this simple. Before now, there is this belief that based on some incendiary comments regarding to the Igbo elders and Ohaneze Igbo in particular, that it appears that some veins somewhat or rather we are strained. But we saw it today in the court. I believe you saw them as well. We saw our father, Chief Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezife, the former governor of Anambra State, Okwadike Igbohu. And we also saw Chief Godi Owazurike, the former presidential aspirant of Ohaneze Igbo. And both of them came into that court as Ohaneze delegates. So seeing them and seeing that Ohaneze finally has sent delegates to observe what and how the trial is going, what's your take and what do you have to say to the world regarding the development?
Well, the fact is that we all from the Southeast is fully aware of our predicament today. And arresting, everybody will have agreed with me, mostly have agreed with me that arresting Nnamdi Kanu is not solving the problem. I thought I cannot solve the problem. So, and what you refer to as a sincere comment is what I may not in the circumstance on that kind of admit that it existed because it depends on the manner, it depends on the situation at hand. You find yourself at the point the whatever comment was made, what led to it. So, but however, I must commend them for being there. I was notified about their coming before now, and they understand that Nnamdi Kanu is their son, and they cannot abandon him. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm aware that some people are making some contacts, are calling me, trying to see how to come in, how to kind of identify. And I said, no, if you want to identify with Nnamdi Kanu's cause, maybe in the open. You can't do it secretly. So, no matter whoever you are, just like what Ohaneze did now by sending in our father, Dr. Ezife, to be in court today, and I especially called him out today for recommendation in court during my submissions. So, I insisted that anybody who wants to identify with Nnamdi Kanu's predicament must do it in the open. That's my position, because he's on a selfless service to redeem our lost identity. That's what I'm saying. Until when that fact is appreciated, that's when we understand what the message is sending. Look at today. Yesterday, I got a report from people in Enugu that Fulani just spent a day in Enugu yesterday and I killed many. yesterday. It's on record, and maybe if you don't have the clips, I'll send it to you.
I do have the clip.
So
You're talking about Uzuwani, right?
They've resumed hostilities because Nnamdi Kanu is no longer there. So these are things people should learn, and they learn it fast now. So it's time for everybody to come together and join hands to ensure that our own is out as quick as possible. And I can assure you that Nnamdi Kanu will regain his freedom sooner than expected. I've been saying this, and I know what I mean by that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so before I let you go, I mean, obviously, Sunday Igboho had his day in court today. I believe you must have probably acquainted yourself regarding the outcome. Now, but without going into details, what I want you to do on a high level, are you able to draw a comparison, or rather a comparative analysis of the case of Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu? Are there any similarities and approach or anything that you can tell us?
Well, the point is that in Igboho's case, we see where people are seriously disposed towards salvaging the image of their own and interest of their own too. Because what's happened in Nnamdi Kanu's case, though there's a stress collaboration, conspiracy at the highest level, I may not be able to mention here, but it's teaching people lesson. People are learning from it, though it's still being litigated upon across the space. So, and the Republic don't want to make similar mistakes. Because it's one thing for you to accuse, I've been saying this, and another thing for you to establish.
Exactly.
When you level allegations as bogus as it may be against somebody, people, and before you know it, the person will be convicted over the media. That's the problem we're having now.
Mm-hmm.
We have committed murder, we committed this, I've committed kidnapping. Come to the time, commit those offenses, you run away. That's the problem. So now, as of today, the federal government has never filed any charge against Igboho in airport. And tell me how the men's extradition proceedings if there's no pending charge against him. The answer is no. So that's what I'm telling you. So before you know it, like before now, the state has already granted a conference in several of their press briefings that they were today in next Nnamdi Kanu sitting that will be seeing a case of murder, case of kidnapping, banditry, and whatnot. So, and that has been sold off to people uninformed. Has been sold off to people uninformed. So now people are believing, Nnamdi Kanu has committed offense of murder, offense of terrorism, offense of this and that. But there was no charge in court today for us to see. There was no such charge in court today for us to see. So they are good at convicting people on the pages of social media and social media platforms. And people will believe it and start acting upon the false road. So some didn't apply to Igboho because they want the ground to be sure that the right thing is done. Had it been I got information about the Nnamdi Kanu's action on 19th of June, so nothing would have happened. Of course, we would have brought to this country. We insist. We would have done it. We would have done it. We would have brought to this country in the manner that they did. So, but they did everything secretly in collaboration with their sister agency from Nigeria. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. That is a very fine place to leave it. I will say thank you for all that you do, and we say stay well. I appreciate your time with me. Thank you very much once more. This is Njenje TV. Thank you very much. Yeah. So everyone, you can hear that this is Barry. I've been speaking in the last 30 minutes with Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, and many of you that were dropping your questions. Some of your questions we are taking, and you can see where they are. And before we continue, I will say thank you to Lord Michael. Lord Michael has a question, and it reads, is it true that George ordered the DSS to allow you to visit Nnamdi Kanu at least twice a week? Of course, I think you joined late. Yes. I asked him that question point blank, and he answered it. Before now, About 4 hours ago, I did speak to the special counsel as well, in the person of a lawyer, Jimako, and who confirmed that on Mondays and on Thursdays, that now it is no one could deny them that right, that they do now have the right to go see them on those days. So that is twice every week. If they so wish, they can go ahead and see him on those days. Whereas, again, for many of you who are joining without repeating everything that was said here before now, you can go ahead and afterwards listen to this conversation from the beginning again. Tresha Oputa, thank you very much for that super chat. Now, we must then continue. The next would now be to bring in my sister, the Amazon of the Niger Delta, to throw in some perspective also as regards to what is happening or what she understands from all these things that is happening. And I'm still waiting for our sister from. Okay, hold on, people. There. So, can his wife's? Okay, my guest is having some technical challenge, hence, getting out to see if all is well before she joins me. Like I said, what was going to happen is before I did mention, I did ask Barrister Ejiofor this question, and in the court today we had the Ohanese delegation that visited him, and obviously that delegation made some statements after after the court, basically. One was by Dr. Chukwu Emeka Ezife, the former governor of Anambra State, and whom we are going to quickly bring in now we're going to play his video now quickly.
Stayed for 3 hours before the judge came in, and at no time did we see Nnamdi Kanu, who was kidnapped from Kenya. I think we are very, very disappointed. That's the minimum way to say it.
What kidnapped?
Pardon?
I don't know if the federal government will agree with what the statement.
Did he come by himself?
To extradition order. Do you know the process of extradition? Do you know the process of extradition?
We waited for 3 hours before the judge came in, and at no time did we see Nnamdi Kanu, who was kidnapped from Kenya. I think we are very, very disappointed. That's the minimum way to say it.
What kidnapped?
Pardon?
I don't know if the federal government will agree with what the statement.
Did he come by himself?
To extradition order. Do you know the process of extradition? Do you know the process of extradition? Thank you.
You know what? You know what? Some journalists, some journalists will ask a question. You feel like firing them at the spot. So at the end of the day, but let's listen to what Chief Godwin Wazirike has to say.
If he was taken away from Kenya by unlawful means, under the rule of law, he must be brought to court. And the reason given by the prosecution is actually questionable. They said it's a problem of logistics. In simple language, The DSS said they didn't have a vehicle to bring him. As far as I understand, it was logistics. And it did not make sense. So the court did not handle the matter today because he cannot have a trial in the absence of the suspects. And Nnamdi Kanu is being treated like a criminal. He's not a criminal, he's only a suspect. And it's only a court that must pronounce that word, criminal. Everybody is presumed innocent until found guilty. So today we have come all the way to Abuja to witness what is going on. And the first thing we did was to look out for him. We did not see him. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer is also complaining that he has been denied access. For the past 10 days, he has been asking to see his client. And the judge said that is wrong. And he's having a meeting with Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, with the prosecutor, who is actually the director of federal prosecution, to work out the days the lawyer will go and see him, to know whether he's alive. We only hear these stories. So today, Hanese is standing firm. And we have the full squad of Utuakiwu in Abuja in attendance. Because we want to see that justice must not only be done, but must be seen to have been done. In other words, we don't want technicality. What triumphed today is called technicality, not justice. Justice demands that you don't keep somebody behind bars and decide when and where to try you. Today, Nnamdi Kanu is in the custody of the Director of State Security, and it is not a prison. Normally, when they are sent to prison, it is from prison that they are brought to trial, not in the hands of those who abducted you. In simple language, nothing has changed. So we say, let there be justice in this case, and Hanese will never relent. Yes, the President General for Hanese, Professor Bion, said we must see it all.
Are you hopeful that this exercise will transfer, very transfer? Are you hopeful that this trial will transfer?
Well, you may not know, but this trial is being monitored all over the world. And it is actually the judiciary that is on trial today. The judiciary in Nigeria is on trial. How they handle this case will now determine how the world sees the judiciary of Nigeria. It's an international case, and we'll follow it up to the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we hear that the Nigerian judiciary is on trial. The Nigerian judiciary is on trial. Well, while I wait for two other of my guests to come in, I will switch over to the case of Igboho. There is something that I hope my Yoruba brothers and sisters will pardon me if I have no intention of laughing, but I don't know how possible it is. Maybe I'm being naive. Okay, so I seek for your forgiveness ahead of time. This is what I'm talking about. I'll quickly share with us where the court was told that Igboho could have escaped to Germany through the traditional means. You know, honestly, I'm trying not to laugh, but so according to Sahara reporters here, look at this. Why Igboho decided not to escape from Benin's custody through native powers. That is a Nigerian cleric, Ola Deju, who had been in Benin Republic since the announcement of Igboho's arrest last Monday, told journalists that Igboho would go from Benin Republic to Germany. The Muslim cleric Idris Ola Dejo has revealed why he believed the Yoruba national agitator Sunday Adeyemo Igboho decided not to escape from the custody of the operatives in Benin Republic using native powers. Now, so that's The man is popularly known as Oladeju, said Igboho indeed had the native powers to disappear from custody. I don't know what to make of this. He had the native powers to disappear from custody, but had refused to use such because of his wife and the love he had for the Yoruba nation. The cleric said that Sunday Igboho believes in Allah and he hates cheating, especially cheating the Yoruba nation. He also has those powers and they are from Allah. He can't disappear here because he doesn't want any problem for his wife, Odua nation, and the Yoruba nation. He hates problem, he's a good man, and that's why they love him. While I do appreciate, obviously, freedom of freedom to believe whatever we um, wish to believe, I'm only just thinking as a man of science, how possible is it that somebody could actually disappear? You know, how possible is it that somebody could just disappear and leave? But be that as it may, I mean, it's only an opinion. It's only an opinion. You know, it's only an opinion. There was this also from PM News. There's this also from PM News. It says, Oluibada delegation orders shut out as Igboho trial continues in closed door. So obviously, the people that were raised by the Oluibada, or rather, they went to see if they can get into the agitation, into the court today. But the proceedings continued behind closed doors. So the proceedings continued behind closed doors. So one thing that is slightly a little bit off, you know, is that no one actually knows. I mean, I haven't seen when next the the case would, obviously it's nighttime now. I think Benin Republic is, I can't remember if it's 1 hour ahead of Nigeria or is it Ghana that is 1 hour ahead of us. So I'm not aware that court sits at night. You know, I don't know. They had a court sitting in the morning. Eventually, it was kind of pushed back also to the evening time. Now, I do not know, hence the invitation of my sister there, that is the Amazon of the Niger Delta, to help put flesh to the bone. And I did also reach out to two lawyers, from the Yoruba nation who might also come to throw some light as regarding what is happening. Sadly, I haven't, I haven't received any feedback or the acceptance for them to join me here. So once more, 3 p.m. Nigerian time, what does that mean? So at the end of the day, people, I think the bottom line remains that I do not, I cannot categorically say how things has just panned out today. but we saw the videos earlier today from Arise TV. Actually, we saw the video earlier today. Let me see if I can quickly play, bring that up from Arise TV today. We saw the video of, their intervention with Rufai and Ruben, where they obviously had their reporter also there in Benin Republic, where they reported on these proceedings today, and I mean on the court proceedings today. But obviously, no one could, as I speak to you now, could say this is when the case is adjourned to. If the case is adjourned to next tomorrow, or if this case is adjourned to tomorrow, I cannot tell. But let me quickly bring back, see, while I'm waiting for these two individuals to join me live here, let me quickly pull up Ruben Abati's conversation with that of Rufai also, to so that we have a better insight from there. I mean, that's, the much I listened to today, the insight provided is quite apt. Okay. So quickly, just give me a couple of seconds. Let me bring them in now. While that is ongoing now, see if I can get my other guests to join me, because obviously we will. It's always good, because this is an analysis that we are doing. It's always good to have other sides and other views as well. So let me quickly bring Ruben Abati in, then we'll see their take on it.
And ahead of today's court appearance by the detained leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, the group has vowed to attend the trial at the Federal High Court in Abuja. The group is also calling on its members and other similar bodies to shut down the Federal Capital Territory in solidarity with Kanu. Now, this comes after a warning from the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. Nnamdi Kanu faces an 11-count charge of treason, treasonable felony, terrorism, and illegal possession of firearms. But there are reports that fresh charges may be filed against him when the trial resumes today. Meanwhile, Yoruba kings in Benin Republic have met in Ajon to discuss the arrest and prosecution of Yoruba Nation activist Sunday Igboho. Kings and chiefs of Yoruba origin who believe they are brothers with Sunday Adeyemo, who was recently arrested in Cotonou, are seeking ways to help the activist who is wanted in Nigeria. The Court of Appeal sitting in Cotonou will continue hearing the case today by the federal government of Nigeria against Igboho, who has been held in Benin for nearly 7 days. Indeed, there's a lot of anxiety, expectations as well for this. And finally, let's also tell you that the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Saliu Adetunji, says he has sent a delegation to Cotonou, Benin Republic, to observe court proceedings in the trial of Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Sunday Igboho. The monarch, in a statement, says those selected to be part of the delegation will be at the court, where Igboho's case will resume today, as we've told you earlier. He says he is in contact with Yoruba prominent royal fathers, including the Igboho royal crowns, to allay public fears of a repeat performance of the Yoruba Fulani coalition of 1814. Dr. Bati and Rufai. Sitting at the edge of his seat?
Yeah, sitting at the edge of a seat. Today is historical. Whatever it is, whatever goes down today will be a key day in Nigeria history, 26 July. And it's a day where Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Sunday Igboho, is in court in Cotonou. And we have Nnamdi Kanu in court in Abuja. Two different proceedings. There are talks, like we read in the report, that the federal government will press some fresh charges, against Nnamdi Kanu. We'll see how that pans out. But most importantly, like everybody has been calling on Nnamdi Kanu's case, it has to be a free and fair hearing. The rule of law has to take its course. And they have accredited some media houses in there. We will all see the proceedings and people will be able to see if it's free and fair. The case in Cotonou, too, with Igboho, he's been taken back to prison over the weekend. He was trying to go through the Cardinal Bertin International Airport. There were various allegations. Everyone is up in the air as regards this. There were claims of him having a fake passport. The claims have been countered, big Beninois passport. Finally, they've pushed the case to courts. There are talks about extradition. They're saying extradition requests have not been served. All of this, the two cases we have, they're very hazy in the air. But one thing I want us to focus our attention is what brought us here. The massive agitations, the massive pain a lot of people survived, or suffered, I should say, brought us here. I keep asking the question, if the killings in Igboho did not happen, are we going to have a Sunday Igboho? If the killings of Dr. Borode did not happen, are we going to have a Sunday Igboho? If the marginalization in the East did not persist after the Civil War, are we going to have an Nnamdi Kanu? Because I keep saying it's not about a Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu. It's about the injustices done to these areas or these regions of the country, and people will verbalize it. Return to democracy, we all forget in a hurry. We had a row for Wazurike with a mass-up, agitating just like this. So the question we should ask ourselves, what can we do to truly show fairness across every part of the country and make people have that sense of belonging and inclusion? That's the most important question we should ask ourselves.
Okay, there are many dimensions to the two cases. The first is the legalistic part to it, with charges having been filed, both here in Nigeria against Nnamdi Kanu, and also in Republic of Benin, Cotonou, against Chief Sunday Adeyemo. And in that regard, well, we'll say that, look, there must be fair trial. The rights of the two persons involved in the matter must be respected. And there must be, a due process in terms of what is done. And particularly in both instances, no impression must be given by either the government in the Republic of Benin or the government in Nigeria that there is an attempt to persecute or victimize the two persons involved. Because the whole, protest by Nigerians, by persons who identify with these two personalities, is that this is a case of persecution, this is a case of victimization. And particularly here in Nigeria, in the last 24 hours, there have been reports that, the media will be restricted from covering the proceedings in Abuja in the trial of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, a secret trial would not make sense in any way. It must be an open trial. It must be a transparent process. And part of it is allowing, the media to be involved in the monitoring process. Now, the Department of State Services has been accused of having been responsible for a particular restriction of the list of media houses to about 10. Now, up to this moment, I have not read any denial from the Department of State Services. But that will not make sense at all. It will amount to the executive overwhelming the judiciary, and it will also amount to an abuse of the rights of the media, the Nigerian media, under Section 22 of the Constitution, and also under Section 39 of the Constitution, and also under Article 9 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and Article 19 of the International Covenant on Justice, Social Justice. Now, so that's one leg of it. The second leg of it is the political dimension, which is the whole point about self-determination, about ethnic nationalism. Both Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho, they are seen as nationalists by their people. And that is why you've seen that, ethnic groupings have taken up the matter. And that even makes it far more sensitive. IPOB has spoken up Ohaneze has spoken up. In the Southwest, in the case of Igboho, delegations have been sent from Nigeria to Republic of Benin by kings, by communities. In Republic of Benin, where there is a sizable Yoruba population, the kings, in the Republic of Benin, the Onisabe Osabe, the Alajong of Ajong, they had a meeting over the weekend, which is to show that this matter is transnational. The matter is also of great political interest, and that's why the Nigerian government, that is at the center in both cases, must tread with caution. Now, the bigger concern has to do with the state of political stability in the country. You have a situation now where non-state actors have found themselves in a situation whereby they are almost as strong as the state, if not stronger than the state. And they have a huge following that could, pose a threat, to the state itself. Because the state itself is fragile. The failure of the state has allowed, an opportunity for people, to lead their own people in a particular direction. And that's why in the remaining months of the Buhari administration, the bigger issue is not legalism. The bigger issue is how do you leave behind a united country? A country where non-state actors do not overwhelm or are not given the excuse to overwhelm the state. Finally, on the issue of politics, you see one major point that is being made by many Nigerians is that why Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu? Why not the bandits, who are in fact the biggest non-state actors who are overwhelming the Nigerian state? And why is it only, actors in the South that are being targeted? Well, some people may say, well, it's not an excuse to say you have not looked at the other part of the country, but it is a big issue for many Nigerians, particularly in the southern part. They think that there is no sense of balance, and that is why the point is brought up about persecution. Earlier on, I talked about the restriction of media access. Well, whether it is the Department of State Services that is behind it, or it is, the judiciary itself, the court itself, it is important that there is openness, there is transparency, and no form of secrecy in the trial process.
Well said, Dr. Bati. Thank you so much, Rufai, as well. Well, that's all on the news headlines. We'll take a short break. Actually go live to Abuja to feel the pulse of the situation at the moment before we take our dependable road to Zotiri. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to the morning show right here on the Rise News channel. And this is why I understand that we're going to Abuja now. Also, Tunji, if you're there, Tunji Olanipe, please speak to us and tell us what is happening in Abuja as we speak now. Good morning, Tunji.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you very much. Now, of course, we are at the Federal High Court here in Abuja, and where the trial of Nnamdi Kanu is expected to take place today. But I must tell you that the preparation for this trial actually started from yesterday as regards the security personnel. Now, the entire place is taken over by DSS operatives. From as at 4 p.m. yesterday, everywhere is blocked here. Now, there are two major access to the Federal High Court in Abuja. Is it that this main one from the Unity Fountain to the Eagle Square is actually blocked. Then the other entrance too is blocked. So there is a whole lot of traffic situation because of this trial. And quite a lot of journalists are still outside. There is this kind of accreditation they are trying to do, so that not all journalists will actually get in. But as at now, everything is calm. But of course, you can see some people that are probably coming in support of Nnamdi Kanu. They've been singing, and the police just addressed them, of course. So we are not expecting anything, any crisis here, but of course the situation is a little bit tense. The DSS operative, they are very on ground and they are looking stern. They are not ready to take any nonsense from anybody. Even they have one journalist. If you pick up your camera and shoot where you are not expected to shoot, your camera will be seized. And so the situation in Abuja right now at the Federal High Court is still calm. We are waiting for 9 a.m. when the trial will commence. Well,
Tunji, I see many journalists there, in front of the court. And that has been an issue in the last 24 hours. Reports you know, in the papers, on social media, that there has been an attempt to restrict access by journalists. Do you have any update on that? Who exactly is responsible for that restriction, or there is no restriction whatsoever?
Well, there is a restriction, and to actually put the fact right, the restriction, the list you see that is circulating is actually not from the government. It's not actually not from the president as has been touted. The fact is that this list was generated by an association. It's called NAJUK. That is the judicial correspondent. It's an association, and in their own wisdom, they said because of COVID-19, they have to select people that will cover the court processes. Of course, they don't have that power, and some are.
You see what I was telling us before. The ladies you saw here, when I spoke to Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, you see that lady in pink. These were the ladies that were,
It's
or rather,
actually
these were the people
operative.
that were
They are
eventually. You see all these people
very
here.
on ground, and they are looking
These were the
stern.
people that were eventually arrested, and that's what the lawyer is saying, that he's going to try as much as possible to see to their release. Now, I have joining me via Zoom the Amazon of the Niger Delta in the person of Annkio Briggs. Now, Annkio Briggs is joining me via Zoom. Good evening, sister.
Hi. Good evening. How are you?
You can see, I can see you very well. You are also well dotted.
Indeed, I am.
You're also well dotted like myself.
Yes, it's the latest fashion in town, thanks to our president.
We are unapologetically dotted. So, before you joined me, I had a conversation with I think you watched it, basically that bit, the conversation I had with the legal representative of Nnamdi Kanu, and also the conversation centered around what happened and what's going to happen again, you know, moving forward. Now, just opposing that with obviously Igboho appearing in Benin Republic today, what's your take and what do you think would be the best thing to do now moving forward?
Well, definitely, let me start with moving forward for Nigerians, for all the ethnic nationalities in this country, and for all of us, the ethnic nationalities that are suffering in the hands of the decision that this government is making since it came into power, from dividing Nigeria along very obvious religious lines to ethnic lines, and definitely keeping or raising one ethnic nationality above another. Admitting on the one hand that Nigeria is being invaded by external forces, which this government definitely without shame and regret have repeated over and over again. And the president has told us over and over again that he's doing his best. As I have said before, his best obviously is not good enough for us. I feel very worried and sad for Nigeria that we are reduced to this, where we have a government that is lawless, a government that is attacking people, kidnapping people, terrorizing people in their homes, that make them to rather be fugitives instead of being Nigerians in their own country. Nnamdi Kanu was on bail. He obviously left the country because he fell and believed that his life was in danger. The same thing has happened to Sunday Igboho, and yet we find ourselves in a position where Nnamdi Kanu was literally, according to what we're hearing, kidnapped because he traveled on a British passport to Kenya, and literally disappeared and ended up in Nigeria. We've not heard Nnamdi Kanu's side of the story yet. So basically, it's frightening that Nigeria should find herself in this position where the government itself is now terrorizing its people and terrorizing people from a particular section of Nigeria, southern Nigeria, terrorizing the Yorubas, terrorizing the Igbos, terrorizing the people of the Niger Delta, the Middle Belt. It's the word disgraceful does not cover it anymore. It's unacceptable. It's shameful for Nigeria to be playing this game as it is playing it in the community of the world. It's a ridicule that Nigeria is behaving as if it's a small country tucked away somewhere. We have some people claiming that one ethnic nationality is all of a sudden 160 million people, and then of course the Igbos, Yorubas, and all the other ethnic nationalities are only 40 million or so. It's I think Nigeria should call itself to order. The president, the people around him, I think his family members should talk to him. The embassies, the people like his friend in the United Kingdom, the Archbishop of Canterbury. I think these people ought to really speak to the president that his behavior is most unpresidential.
Yeah, I mean, you anchored it on on a very sound boat where you said his conduct and actions are very, very unpresidential. But many would also argue that the judiciary is not directly under him, even when some would remind us that the DSS that is behind the whole brouhaha is directly under him. Now, does it worry you that there is this saying that when the guinea fowl is being cooked, the chickens in the pen must be worried? Does it not bother you that all these things happening within the southeast and within the southwest, the south or the Niger Delta, obviously not isolated from spillovers or even at some point, or does it mean that agitations have suddenly disappeared within that region, that everything is now fine and good? Ogoni is cleaned up now. Ogoni probably is much better than Dubai, or that Ogoni is now the new Taiwan. I do not know. So what's your take? I mentioned Ogoni, you're laughing. So it means Ogoni is not Taiwan.
Absolutely not. First of all, let me start by answering the question like this. A very long time ago, when I have had opportunity to speak about Nnamdi Kanu and his travails, I have said that today is Nnamdi Kanu. Who will it be tomorrow? I've also said to my people, the Niger Delta people, all the ethnic nationalities of the Niger Delta, that they shouldn't think for one instant that whatever seems to be going on in the Middle Belt or that moved to the southwest and then to the southeast, that it's not going to cross the River Niger and that it is not going to cross Abia State or come in through Lokoja and cross river and eventually end up in places like River State or Bayelsa Delta and all of that. I think I will continue to caution my people to be very careful, and because in my analysis, I believe that everything is going to everything is going to end in the Niger Delta, because it seems like that's the only region that is left. They've rampaged all the way from Niger, Mali, across Africa, where the Fulanis have been called to come into Nigeria and congregate in Nigeria and come and lay claim to their birthright, according to them, that was given to them by the conquest of supposed conquest of Usman Dan Fodio. But I also do tell my people not to forget that we're not a conquered people. At least we're not a conquered people yet. Now, if we become conquered tomorrow, it will definitely be the choice that the collective ethnic nationalities in the Niger Delta, which is over definitely up to 40 different ethnic nationalities that make up the Niger Delta, no matter how small or how big one or the other may be. Definitely, anybody who thinks that the Niger Delta is calm does not know the Niger Delta. So, if you know the Niger Delta, you will not think that the Niger Delta is calm. If you think that,
are you telling us that there is something in the pot in the Niger Delta being?
There is always something in the pot. There is always something
cooking
in the pipeline. There is the fact that
if not for anything, there is oil in the pipeline. And that's
well, that is definitely our oil is in the pipeline. That is the way our people want it for now. That the oil is in the pipeline and it continues to go up north. And that's why.
Let me interject a little bit. I have another guest, that is Bola Abiodun, joining us from Rwanda, and obviously. Bola Abiodun says she has a message for Nigeria. I would let her come in and deliver this message to Nigeria. Bola, good evening. Bola, can you unmute yourself quickly, please?
Is it okay now?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, good evening, viewers all over the world watching.
May you kindly introduce yourself, Bola?
Yes, I'm actually into so many things. I'm into tourism, I'm into security sector, and also into analysis of sports. But recently, God revealed to me that, things in Nigeria is going to take a drastic turn, a drastic change. He revealed this to me about 2-3 days ago. And today is the third day, remaining 4 days. He told me exactly 7 days, that there will be a drastic change in Nigeria, especially in the political system of the country. I announced it on various fora, on various platforms, on the radio, on the television, and I'm also letting people in this your platform, I'm also informing them that there's going to be a drastic change in Nigeria very soon. And the first election that was done was an election, that was kind of rigged. God showed me, I saw it clearly that Atiku won that election, but it was, maneuvered and manipulated. So, and God has seen the suffering of Nigerians. He has seen the suffering of the masses, and is about to take a drastic change. This is not the first time God reveals things to me, even in sports, even to the government. I also call them and tell them when those revelations come. And
Okay,
sometimes
Bola.
when I tell them, they take me for a ride. They take it as a joke, and before you know it, the thing will just take place.
Okay,
I
so
don't
Bola,
have a church. I'm not
Bola,
a pastor. Yes.
so what you're saying is when you talk about 4 days, you mean Friday this week, Friday the 30th.
Yes. Yes. There's going
Now,
to be a drastic change.
in
In
the
fact, the
you
ones that
said,
are coming, they are going. Yeah.
You said the drastic change you are alluding to, that is going to be more political than economic.
Yes, it's going to be more of political than economy.
Okay, and do we I don't know, these visions or revelations wasn't given to us. Obviously, pardon me if I tend to ask more questions regarding this revelation. So
Yeah.
this revelation was given to you, did you say when that was last week?
Just about, let's say, about 3 days ago. Now, today is
Okay.
the fourth day. Yes. And immediately it was given to me. I announced it on various platforms, especially those ones that know me. I relayed it to them because it's not for my own personal consumption. And the message was given that 7 days, that there's going to be a great turnaround in the country. Today is the third day. It remains 4 days from today.
Okay. So Bola, you are telling us from Rwanda that Nigeria by Friday, I might not be a man of great prophecy or believer of prophecy, but I want to be, I want to, obviously, let's see. So what you're
Okay, let,
saying,
let me give you the vision God gave to me before.
sorry, go ahead. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me.
Should be a colonel. And I went on Nigeria Info. I announced it that the highest rank in Nigeria should be colonel, and all those monies used to pay generals and all the manipulations, the money that has been eaten left, right, and center, and they say they are buying this and buying that. That God revealed to me that the highest rank should be colonel. That any rank from that all should be dissolved and retired. I went to the radio, I announced it. And nobody listened to me. Before you know it, they say coronavirus catch all the whole generals and they are sick. Because that is what God revealed to me, that the highest rank in Nigeria Army should be colonel.
Yeah,
And
but
that new
sorry,
recruits,
madam,
young
but
boys to be recruited.
if
Yes.
God told you that the highest rank should be colonel, and
Yes.
we have generals everywhere, so does it mean that the prophecy is not coming true, or that you didn't hear properly? I mean,
No, the revelation made to me is not for my personal consumption. And I am
okay.
not the one that is in charge of employment of people in the army. The revelation was given to me that to win this war, this battle, number one, it also has also some spiritual connotation in it as well. So that spiritual aspect of it, God is taking care of it. But he said that the highest rank should be colonel, and the other people should be retired. Let the younger people, more younger people be recruited into the force. I even also, exclaimed that, at least maybe 1/3 of the population of Nigeria, should be in the force. Not only army, navy, custom, immigration, and they should also recruit some special force also to tackle this situation. Younger people should be, recruited. I explained all this on the radio, Nigeria Info in Abuja. I am Lady Sunshine. I normally call into Nigeria Info. I advise the government that this is what they should do, but they didn't take the
And
the,
may,
the
may, may
information.
I ask, may I ask for
Yes.
clarity? You said you have a direct telephone line of the president.
Yes, yes. That was when he was in Defense House. I called the president directly on his MTN line. On his MTN
Hold
line.
on.
I
When
called
you
him.
mean, hold on. You mean when the president was in defense line? Sorry,
Yes,
defense. That's a long
defense,
time ago.
before he moved to Aso Rock. You know, he was in Defense House for a long time before he moved to Aso Rock. That is in his first tenure. In his first tenure, he was in the Defense House. That was when I called him. You know, most time when they move into the villa, sometimes their regular number can be changed and a new number will be given to them. Every president is done like that. I got that information through another aide of former President Jonathan, that normally when presidents come in, they change their line.
Okay.
I still have that number up till now with me. It's an
Okay.
MTN number.
Thank you very much, Bola. I think the message is heard really live and direct. We appreciate your time, and thank you very much for being part of this program. Thank you. So, everyone, obviously, you've heard what Bola has said, that the message she got from her sleep, that Nigeria is not going to be the same again in 7 days. My only addition to this is a proverb in Igbo which says, onye Nnewi ka agwa ka otoro gbaa ya, asị ka otoro gbaa ya ka ọ fụ n'anya. That doesn't mean I'm doubting, but I'm only saying that Friday, here we come. Friday, here we come. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll see if my other guest's still there so we can quickly round up. It's been a pleasure having you all for all this while. You know, again, some of you saying, some of you in the comment section, I would say you got to behave yourself. When a message is given, let's all only be the tool to disseminate information. Who are we to judge the veracity of a given message? So let me allow also the analysis that have been done before by Rufai to go ahead. Then I get back my guest and we round it up.
Not ready to take any nonsense from anybody. Even they have one journalist. If you pick up your camera and shoot where you are not expected to shoot, your camera will be seized. And so the situation in Abuja right now at the Federal High Court is still calm. We are waiting for 9 a.m. when the trial will commence.
Well, Tunji, I see many journalists there, you know, in front of the court. And that has been an issue in the last 24 hours. Reports, you know, in the papers, on social media, that there has been an attempt to restrict access by journalists. Do you have any update on that? Who exactly is responsible for that restriction, or there is no restriction whatsoever?
Well, there is a restriction, and to actually put the fact right, the restriction, the list you see that is circulating is actually not from the government. It's not actually not from the president as has been touted. The fact is that this list was generated by an association. It's called NAJUK. That is the judicial correspondent. It's an association, and in their own wisdom, they said because of COVID-19, they have to select people that will cover the court processes. Of course, they don't have that power, and somehow they got a court official to sign off on the letter. The court official I've spoken to her this morning, and she's actually not comfortable. And I told her that you sign off on this letter, and as it is now, we can safely say that this letter is from the Federal High Court. And she said no, it is the Association of Judicial Reporters that gave her the list to sign off. I said, well, madam, this is wrong because the association doesn't have a power. I may not be a member of NAJUK. and nobody can say I should not cover a court process because I have a freedom of association and the court is a public place. So that list did not generate from the DSS, that list is not from the presidency, that list is actually from an association of journalists covering the court.
Well,
that is the truth.
That's quite
and of course,
interesting.
they are trying to sort it out because media like Punch is not on that list, Arise TV is not on that list, quite a number, even NTA is outside here. There are quite international media, also BBC is outside, a whole lot, VOA is outside, so nobody know how the list come about. They just decided within themselves, and some people just sit down, put up a list, and now the DSS is relying on that list, and they said, well.
So this is Mazes okay back again. So you can hear from the analysis given here from the reporter that the list that we also been brandished about is from the reporter themselves. Hold on. How on earth Nigeria somehow makes you lose track. Have you ever seen where media houses regulate themselves to decide who comes to the court or not? Then DSS rely on those lists in order to bar people or allow people to come in. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. Let me go back and bring back the Amazon of the Niger Delta back again. Let's conclude that discussion here. So, Sis, thank you very much for coming back once more. Now, before I took Bola, I was talking with you regarding Niger Delta. Is it naive to say that the peace brokered by Professor Yemi Osibanjo when Buhari was sick, that peace, is what is keeping Niger Delta very, very calm? Is that a good observation, or is that vertically saying that before we parted, you say something is cooking, something is boiling? So, or should we say Nigeria should not take the peace that exists, quote unquote, peace that exists in the Niger Delta to be that everything is calm?
Definitely, coming from the Niger Delta, I think that at least I should be given the benefit of the doubt to say that no matter what happens, I know my people of the Niger Delta. I don't know what peace Osibanjo thinks that he brokered with the Niger Delta ethnic nationalities of the Niger Delta region. But whatever peace he thinks that he has brokered, I can assure him that whatever he has been brokered in the Niger Delta also has a capacity for whatever he believes he has brokered, not to stop existing, if that is what the Niger Delta people want. I keep maintaining that the fact that the Niger Delta seem to be peaceful is the choice of the Niger Delta people. It is not the choice of Osibanjo or whoever he seems to believe that he has brokered peace with. The suffering of Nigerians across Nigeria, the Niger Delta people are not excluded. If anything, the pain is more with us. We drink the polluted water, we breathe the polluted air. We are the ones that are given 2.5% to 3% to the host communities. So we are the ones that are expected to be grateful. People who don't have oil are now seen and accepted as oil producing. We are the people whose resources, 30% of what comes from our land is now supposedly going to use to explore oil in the north of Nigeria, close to the Sahara. So whether there is oil there or there is no oil there, the point is that we are paying for the price for the oil to be explored. And if Osibanjo and the government believes that the way that the Niger Delta is being treated and accepted by some Niger Delta people, that is good enough and that it can go on forever. Time will tell whether this will go on forever or not. But I can assure you that anyone who thinks that there is peace, that the people of the Niger Delta are peaceful around what is going on in Nigeria, don't know human beings and their level of endurance, and definitely do not understand the Niger Delta people. There is a saying in my place, I round off with this. There is a saying in my place that says that it means that it is when the yam is cold, and yam is quite a basic diet in Ijaw land, because you use it with pepper soup in the morning by the waterside within the creek area and all of that. So saying that it is when the yam is cold that we eat the yam. So it means that you cannot predict. Nobody should attempt to predict the Niger Delta people, especially the oil producing communities as we are today, and as dealing with the 3% or 2.5% or whatever percentage we're supposed to be grateful for. The Niger Delta is far from calm. People are pained and people are upset, and people are suffering just as much as any other set of people are suffering. When people will react, nobody knows, but that people will react. Anybody that doubts that does not know human beings.
Okay, before I let you go, you alluded to the fact that these 2.5%, 3%, or is it 13% derivation? But there is this school of thought that would argue, even if you're giving 50%, even if you're giving 13%, even if you're giving 1%, you are still being given something that belongs to you, something that you own. You're being given. It's the right thing not to do. Wouldn't it, or put it the other way? Wouldn't it be better that the Niger Delta, that the people own that which belongs to them, the way the Zamfara owns their own gold? If Zamfara decides to give the federal government 15% of their gold-giving gold, then they can do that. Not that the federal government owns the gold and says, okay, Zamfara, out of our benevolence, we'll give you 3% and add another 13%, call it derivation or whatever. Isn't that the way to go? Isn't that what the people are asking for?
Well, that is what we have always asked for. That is what the Niger Delta people have always insisted upon. Even Adaka Boro's 12-day war against the federal government of Nigeria in 1966, before the first coup, was about insisting that we want to own and control our resources and be in charge of our own lives, which included us being in our own country. That was during the days of Adaka Boro. Ken Sarawiwa argued his own case along the same line. The bottom line in all of these things is that whether it is 99.999%, the oil is in the Niger Delta and therefore belongs to the Niger Delta people. And the fact that federal government has laid claim to it is by a stroke of a pen, using the agent of fear and the agent of the falsehood of one Nigeria, which we have all come to realize that there is no such thing. But you know what? At the end of the day, what will be, and the way it will go will be the way that it will go. I think that it will be not too far from now where Nigeria as a country has to face her own demons and reality and know that there is just no way to continue like this. You have a country where the Yorubas are going in one direction. The Igbos are arguing their own case. The ethnic nationalities in the Middle Belt are arguing their own case. The ethnic nationalities in the Niger Delta, the owners of the resources, are arguing their own case. And then you have the Fulanis as well. So now you have a situation where every ethnic nationality is on one side, more or less. And then whether you like it or not, since 2015, the Fulani have established themselves, and their voices are very loud by their activity and behavior and the unjust ways, the nepotism and everything surrounding this government. Something will give, and when it gives, it will give.
Okay, thank you. Before I let you go on, finally, what's your final take on, or rather your message to the Yoruba nation and also to the indigenous people of Biafra, the IPOB, whom their leader is being held in detention?
Hello?
Yeah, hello, I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you, I can hear you.
Hello?
Hold on. Okay.
Hello, Mazen.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. I hope you can hear me. I think I heard your question. What I will say to the Yoruba people, the people calling.
Go ahead. Something happened to your video. Can you? Okay. You can. I think. Can you unmute? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. You haven't unmuted. For some reasons, you have not unmuted yourself. Oh dear. Anyway, people, that's a very fine place to leave it. Sometimes technology does not allow things to flow as one would have wished. Okay. Sometimes technology does not allow for things to flow as one would have wished. It's been a pleasure in the last an hour, close to 2 hours now, that you have joined me in this conversation. We've spoken to, that was Annkio Briggs there, the Amazon of the Niger Delta. Also, I've had the privilege to speak to Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who we spoke for about 30 minutes, explained to us the developments and why his client Nnamdi Kanu did not appear in the court today, and that he is going to see him personally within the next 48 hours. We also had here Mrs. Bola, who joined us from Rwanda, a Nigerian, and who said that God revealed to her that within the next 4 days, something is going to happen in Nigeria. So some of you already shouting, rather some of you already saying, bring the woman back on Saturday. But anyone here, some of you already saying, you set your alarm. So you're not going. I'm going to set my alarm 12 midnight on Friday. So when my alarm rings, maybe 11:59 on Friday, I don't know what's going to happen. And I'll leave it at that. Okay. So it's a very fine place to leave it. I will say once more, thank you for being part of this. We will keep on, looking into these things, and see how this develop. I'll endeavor in the next day or two to reach out to the Ohaneze delegates, Chief Godi Owazulike, who was in the court today, and see if I would have the privilege to bring him here and to have the conversation and also asking these questions. You all know it. What I do here is only just to ask these questions, and the sometimes tough questions that I hope my guests would have the answers to. And for those of you, I've seen about 4 emails that already come in regarding the t-shirt. So keep it coming. If you want one of these t-shirts, you can see Annkio Briggs there. She has one of them t-shirt. I have one of them as well. This is my second one. This is gray color. I have the deep blue one. I think they only have 4 colors: white, blue, gray, and there was one. I think there is one black actually. So again, for now, many of you who are in Europe are lucky ones because the first batch has been shipped down to Europe for ease of transportation, as it will be much easier to ship to many of you in the diaspora. For those of us here, we will be getting the second batch, obviously, in also very shortly. On that note, I would say thank you very much for being part of these evening conversations. I am still Mazes, okay? It's been an honor and it's been a pleasure to have you join me for all these hours. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this platform, kindly do. For those watching on Facebook, please like the page, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, share this stream as we do what we know how to do best. Thank you very much and have a fantastic evening. Good morning to some of you, good evening, good night, and to many of you in the North America, good afternoon. Once more, I am Mazes, okay? Signing.